Hello once again, everybody, and welcome to the Mario Cristobal Show. Joe Zagacki alongside my broadcast partner, Don Bailey Jr., of course, University of Miami head coach Mario Cristobal. Hurricanes off to a 2-0 start, coming off a 45-3 win this past weekend against Bethune-Cookman. And this weekend, a top 25 matchup coming up as Miami takes on South Florida. So looking for another big crowd at Hard Rock Stadium for a 4:30 kickoff at the Rock. Coach, will jump into South Florida momentarily, but first, let's look back at Bethune, because sometimes those games can get a little tricky, but in this case, your team very serious and played to a Miami Hurricanes standard.
Very efficient on offense, scored every time we touched the ball with the ones and almost every time with the twos. Defensively, minus a couple of lapses, played really good, sound football, played some physical football, and most importantly, we got a chance to develop a lot of guys by playing all kinds of players on Saturday.
Coach Carson Beck set a new record here at the University of Miami, 15 for 15 consecutive completions, but also went 22 of 24. That unseeded Vinny Testaverde, what an accomplishment so far.
No doubt. That's hard to do on air,
yeah.
You know, sometimes with some of the routes that we were running. So, and he was pushing the ball down the field and making a lot of those intermediate throws and on the run. So, tremendous. A tribute to him, to the offensive line, to the receivers and running backs, who all did a really nice job just doing their job.
Coach, what do you notice about him in terms of, I don't know, maybe confidence growing, but when you watch him practice, the ball's never on the ground, the passing is accurate, decisive, the leadership is good?
He's a pro. He's a pro in his approach. He's a pro in everything that he does, and he just wants to get better and win. He is completely focused on those things right there, and he's determined to not let anything get in the way of that.
He does a great job in the pocket, avoiding contact and avoiding the rusher as well.
He does great pocket presence by him. He's got a great feel for it. He understands. He's got some big boys up front. He knows how to trust them. He knows when to move. He knows when to slide. And he's used his protection really, really well. And his understanding of it is really amazing. You'd be really impressed sitting in a meeting with him.
You know, you found a lot of different guys in the portal. One of them, Marty Brown, and really a good speaker, very good running back. It was funny because in his interview with us, he talked about how much he wanted to be a Miami Hurricane. He spent time with Fletcher and Jordan Lau. The only thing that went wrong is they got seasick fishing. We got to tell them to stay in the flats. But how much he wanted to be a Hurricane.
Well, Marty Brown is another guy like the guys in that running back room that epitomize the things that come with being a Miami Hurricane. From his personality, his work ethic, his commitment to the team, his commitment to the community as well. Marty Brown has been a tremendous addition, and he's another guy whose best football is ahead of him.
Coach, I don't want to skip past Emory Williams. He got in a lot of playing time and looks greatly improved. It can run. His physical presence makes every throw, and really, if he had a little help, he'd have hit a big touchdown pass.
No doubt, no doubt. Emory really played well, but it's been showing up in practice. You know, he had all of spring to run, you know, with the ones, along with a couple of the other guys getting their bit, but he was the one that was taking the reps for the most part, and all those reps paid off. And football is about development now, you know, and you don't ever stop developing, and Emory has earned everybody's trust.
Fletch got himself a couple of touchdowns and 80-plus yards in the game.
Fletch is Fletch. He is as accountable as it gets. He runs as hard as you can run the football. Another guy that, again, it's kind of neat to say more and more guys and saying the same line. He epitomizes being a Miami Hurricane, things like that, because it's very real. And he's a difference maker for us. He is a captain for us. He's doing what he was born to do.
The Mario Cristobal Show is brought to you by your local Kia dealers. Discover what happens when rugged capability meets true performance. It's the perfect balance of quality, dependability, power, and style. Learn more at kia.com. Kia, movement that inspires.
Coach, you're so intent on developing your players when they're here. It doesn't matter when they get here, but it's constant development. 26 players earn snaps on defense. Talk about the value that brings to the future.
Well, I mean, sometimes guys walk in the door like Ruben Bain and Francis Mainoa, and bam, it clicks right away. And then other times, you know, guys like Samson, for example, Samson's playing awesome football right now. He's playing as good as anybody on our football team. And it might have taken a little bit longer, but that's development, and no one should ever frown at that. That's part of the game, and really one of the best parts of the game. And so whenever we have an opportunity like we did on Saturday to play guys, you know, it was only, you know, the score wasn't completely out of hand at all, but we want to see guys in action and get them 30-plus snaps. And it was great to see, because you further, you know, reinforce your belief that there are more guys that are ready to help us right now. And then some other guys, now they have hope, and they put themselves in a position now by just how they did on Saturday and then watching and cleaning up that film, that they too have things they could clean up and improve upon to help this football team.
I always thought also development was a two-way street. You can develop them, but they have to want to be developed. Some guys might come in and think, well, I'm a finished product, and if I don't play, then I'm going to move on to the next stop. Some guys take the approach, well, I'm going to be here, I'm going to learn, I'm getting great coaching, and then they see the benefit of all that.
No doubt. It's a two-way street. I can't develop you for you. You've got to want to do it yourself also. So it is. And you want to attract like-minded individuals that believe in that. You have to believe in that concept, because the way we roll, I mean, we get after it. It's hard, it's challenging, it's difficult, but it's rewarding. And if you hang in there, it'll pay off.
Coach Bryce Fitzgerald, he had a takeaway, and then also Isaiah Taylor gets in for a couple tackles for loss. Two names you really hadn't heard of much, but they made an impact in the ballgame.
Two really valuable players.
Yeah.
Both those guys have worked their tails off, and both those guys are going to be playing significant roles for our team here throughout the rest of the season.
Two more takeaways and no turnovers, so that was a positive. You're +4 right now after 2 games.
Got to keep doing that. That's at the end of the day, the most important part about the game is that ball, right? And we've got to maintain it, keep it, and we've got to take it away from the other side. So lots of improvement and more to be made. Certainly you want to dissect every single clip to make sure you're protecting it, securing it the right way, and trying to get it out.
Coach, we saw against Notre Dame the value of the kicking game, and then Saturday you see again 6 for 6 on touchbacks, and both of Auburn got a field goal as well, 31 yards. You've got competition there, but that hidden yardage and special teams, it's huge as the season goes on.
Got to flip the field. Every 70 to 80 yards, I believe, is worth approximately 6 points. So those things, it's like working the cut all game, right? You just keep pounding away at it, and eventually you put yourself in a position where you could take over the game.
We'll jump into South Florida in a minute, but your defense did hold them to 3 points. So that was a well-rounded defensive effort. The tackling was good and all that. What did you see? What jumped out for you with the defensive effort?
There were some really bright moments. You always want to, play to the best of your ability. We saw a lot of guys play at a high level. We saw some physical play. We saw some good communication, and we saw improvement in that. And we saw some disciplined tackling. We saw guys leveraging the ball appropriately, understanding where their help is coming from, because that's as important as anything else, knowing where your help is at. So you can leverage the football and get more hats to the football. So we need to keep improving, getting more hats to the ball, playing with just maniacal effort. But all in all, just again, with 2 games under our belt, we continue to see the defense progressing.
What's better than a first down? 0 down. Go to AutoNation now to shop a large selection of cars and trucks with 0 down payment available. Find your next car now. Visit AutoNation.com today.
Kellen Wiley, 5 tackles, big day for him.
Kellen Wiley's a large, physical, fast dude, and he's got great energy. He's a factor on special teams. He is working his way into more significant playing time on defense. He's going to be a great one, and and when I say that, I'm talking about like a factor this year, not down the road.
You had a couple of those defensive tackles in there also. Dante got in there, Dante Simpson got in there, Russell got in there. Those are large human beings.
Yeah, Russell and Simpson both did a good job. Heavy-handed guys that can move, right? Big, powerful guys. And they press those A-gaps, did a nice job, a couple tackles for losses. Good to see those guys get some burn.
Coach, you never forget in any of the meetings that you have with the team after the games about the value of your scout team. And you recognize those guys, and they're so important to give you the look that you need, but also the intensity that you need.
They're at the heart of your performance on a weekly basis, because we have a saying, if it happens in a game, you should have a drill for it, right? And that drill really has to mimic the game, from the split, the alignment, the shade, hand down, stagger, all that stuff. And when we go to scout teams, there is a tremendous amount of pride and diligence on making sure that look is as close to the real thing as humanly possible. And that's hard, right? Because you're going against really good players, and your body and might not be developed to the point where you can handle that. We've all been there. And our guys, they're getting better and better. And we push them hard, because that's a lot of reps in a row or whatnot. But our guys appreciate them. They're starting to understand their value more and more. So hats off to them. They've been doing a good job, and they're going to get pushed harder than ever this week.
All right, Coach, thank you very much. Time now for this week's High Performance Moment, presented by Kia. And what a moment it is for the freshman, Don, Bryce Fitzgerald.
We'll see what happens, Joe. Only three-man pressure, but Booker Pickett comes from the defensive end spot, forces the hurry, quarterback steps up, and then Bryce Fitzgerald gets his first takeaway as a Miami Hurricane, and I believe there'll be a lot to follow.
This week's High Performance Moment presented by Kia, Bryce Fitzgerald's interception. We have a big one coming up at Hard Rock Stadium. Hurricanes will take on the Bulls of South Florida. Number 5 and number 18 getting ready to go at it on Saturday afternoon. Coach, one of the first things that jumps out to me about South Florida, besides the fact that they've beaten Boise and the Florida Gators and will come in with an immense amount of confidence, they also have an immense amount of experience. If you look at their two deep, 27 of their players have a GR next to them. So they've been around college football for a long time.
No doubt. Well, they just beat the number 25 team and the number 13 team. And they did it with physicality, with effort, with toughness, with discipline, and with execution, right? And winning the turnover margin. So they've been playing really good football, really good complementary football. So tremendous amount of credit to them and tremendous opportunity for us.
And their quarterback, Byron Brown, we saw him last year, but watched the full game last week, of course, of the Florida game, and he's fantastic on how he moves the football. There's really not much he can't do, is there?
He does. He's extremely smart. He's extremely accurate. Gets that ball out when he needs to get it out, and if there's nothing there, he'll improvise. Off-script plays for him have been tremendous. He is fortified back there by a great offensive line. Those guys get after it. They're physical, tough guys. They give him time. And his receivers are big, strong, fast, physical guys because they're just as effective getting down the field like they did the past couple games as they are in the perimeter blocking schemes as well. They get their hands on people and they throw them around. They've done a really good job being physical across the board.
He doesn't turn the ball over. He doesn't throw interceptions. I think it's 240 passes without an interception.
He's a master of the system. He really is. And there's not a throw that he hasn't made. He's made them all. He's put them in great situations and gotten them out of bad situations. And again, an older guy, hadn't been in the system, surrounded by some really good football players. They're playing at a high level.
Their defense along the front, a lot of transfer guys, older, as Joe mentioned, all the graduates there, but the linebackers can run as good as any, and the secondary.
Yep, the linebackers, I think they took turns leading the team in tackles, one year to the next. And they're a reflection of what the rest of the defense is. They're fast and physical. They know how to play in that system. They understand the checks that come with it, the responsibilities, so they're able to trigger and run fast.
Their defensive coordinator, you're familiar with him. It's Bo Orlando, been around for a while, and he's got a Rolodex of blitzes, doesn't he?
He's got a large menu, but at the same time, he also has a personality, and he's been successful at every stop. I mean, he is a tremendous professional. Obviously, I know him personally, so they do a really, really good job using their personnel.
Kevin Patrick, former All-American defensive lineman here, his group plays like he played. And that's as big a compliment as you can give somebody.
He's got him playing at a high level. He does. Those guys are physical. They throw themselves around. They get their hands on people, heavy-handed. He's doing a great job.
You look back at a year ago going into that game, and it was there's mentality, I think, defensively was stop the run, which we mentioned started with the quarterback, but when they do run the football, I mean, that's where it starts for you defensively, right? You've got to do about everything possible to stop their run game.
Yeah, you got to stop what they do, because people are always going to try to attack where they think you're a little bit off or a little bit weak. And game plans change from week to week. That's what our young guys are starting to understand now more than ever. I mean, last week's game plan, wait a second, what are we doing this week, coach? This is completely different, completely new. It's like, yeah, every week we face a very different scheme. So line of scrimmage play is always going to be at the forefront, but to me, the line of scrimmage extends to the perimeter in games like this because of the amount of action out there, from the swing screens to the hitch screens to the tunnel screens to the fake tunnel screens, right? The hitches and the goes, the double moves. I mean, there's a lot to be made about how much in sync your front seven has to be with your back end.
Coach, you've talked about it since the day you got here about remaining composed during a football game. And USF had the benefit of Florida last week doing some things that got them some extra plays, and it led to Florida losing the football game. How do you go about teaching that every single day?
Well, I mean, you have to do your best to replicate it, and you have to do a really good job showing the consequences that come with that sometimes. You know, I mean, football is, come on, it's physical, right? It's nasty. I mean, the things that go on in those trenches, man, thank God they don't have cameras in there, but that's the beauty of football as well. Thank God for that. So, but, you know, you have to find a way to, however upset you get, how much rage you feel at a particular, you know, whatever, you got to get back in the huddle and come back and demonstrate, you know, what you feel, give your feelings a direction on that next play, as opposed to, you know, losing your cool and hurting your team.
This fall, the Canes are taking over paradise again. Canes Weekend in the Bahamas returns October 31st to November 2nd, right in the heart of Nassau. Choose your vibe, the bold, laid-back energy of the Point Margaritaville Beach Resort, or the timeless charm of British colonial Nassau. 2 beachfront escapes, 1 legendary weekend. Enjoy special rates starting at just $159 per night, plus big-time fan energy. Lock it in now at Bahamas.com/Canes Weekend. Terms and conditions apply. You don't have much time in between the next play when they're on offense because they go, right? Let's maybe discuss a little bit about the importance of getting lined up. And Coach Heatherman has talked a lot this year about communication on defense. This is a team that's going to test all of that, right? They run a play about every, it feels like every 2 seconds, but it's about every 18 seconds.
Yeah, they go, and they also go pause. They do a bunch of different things to keep you off balance. It's not just a fastball pitcher, right? You get it in curves and knuckleballs. You get different tempos and whatnot. But you see, like last week, watching them, one of the big plays came about because of, you know, their ability to call it quickly and catch a team in a substitution, and maybe not, you know, ready for that particular play. Next thing you know, you got yourself a big play and a touchdown down the field. So you have to prepare very diligently, and you have to make sure that you're mimicking exactly what they do and how they do it to the best of your abilities to give your team the best chance.
Coach, they are not undersized, and they certainly are as fast as any team Miami will play.
Yeah, it's the film is obvious. Like watching film with our players, you know, we have smart guys. They recognize real, and they know that this is an unbelievable opportunity for us.
And your offensive line and defensive lines, we talk about size, you march out some pretty big dudes out there as yourself. How important is it to get great trench play this weekend?
It's always about us. It's always about us. That's the focus, our preparation, our people just busting their butts and working together in an iron sharpens iron mentality to prepare to the best of our ability. That's what it always comes down to. You know, play to the standard, always study and respect your opponent, know exactly what we're doing, know what they're doing, and go play as hard as you possibly can.
Coach, the University of Miami has to realize, and I'm sure you always do a great job communicating it, that this is a rivalry game, whether Miami wants to call it that or not. But for them coming in South Florida, it's as big a game as they're going to play.
Whenever you play an in-state game, consider it a rivalry. So it's as big of a game for everybody involved. I don't think there's levels or degrees of one versus another. It's not. And it won't ever be like that. Modern day college football, every single one of your games has some type of implication for the postseason. And when you play in-state games, just add some more fuel to that because of all the ties and all the, you know, the relationships and whatnot. So it's again a lot of great juice and energy in practice.
There is a thought that sometimes you judge a team by how they are playing when you play them, when you run into them. And so you're running into this team when they're playing well at the beginning of the year. Is there an intangible that they're bringing into this game because they've beaten Boise and they've beaten Florida, not expected to, but they have? What intangible do they have coming into this game? And do you talk about that with your team?
I can't. I can only speak about us and about what we do, what our plan is or whatnot. And what's at the forefront of everything we do, we always have respect for our opponents. We recognize great players like we do on this particular team that we're playing. They got great players across the board and great coaching. But we don't talk about, and we don't forecast, predict, get into anything except our job. What is our job? How are we going to do it? What goes with it? How we're going to do it? Why we're going to do it this way? And get really, really good at it by repping it again and again and again and again, making sure we eliminate any anxiety, making sure we eliminate any doubt, making sure our guys have clear eyes, clear minds so they can play fast and physical football.
Coach, talk to us again about the quarterback position. When he goes off script, how does the defense, what are they coached to do?
Well, you better hold to your keys, right? You better stay with your assignment, whatever that is, because if he got free on you, he probably broke contain or found a way to break something in the middle. And you do have to stay in coverage, and then people got to chase, right? Because if not, those could turn to some really, really long gains. So the importance of everybody running on every single play, the importance of summer conditioning, all those things are tested right now. The importance of discipline, right? From the cadence, right, to your rush lanes, to your gaps in the running game, because their running game is outstanding, you know? And if you get caught peeking and ducking and jumping in the wrong gap, that's when they hurt you, you know? And certainly our guys are very well aware of that. And so we've been practicing really, really hard for a long, long time. And we look forward to getting right back at it again tomorrow.
UHealth is accelerating access to world-class care. With a new facility now open in Doral, UHealth Seoul Miami Medical Center opening in North Miami. The University of Miami Health System is redefining the future of healthcare across South Florida. As the region's only academic-based health system, UHealth brings top specialists, advanced research, and cutting-edge treatments directly to the communities it serves. Visit umiamihealth.org to learn more. Last year, you hurt them with big plays, but not only big plays for touchdowns. So I guess part of that is how important, or is it important, to get a big play, but then have that play end up in the end zone. And the second part of that would be, so far this season, your receivers or backs or whatever it might be are getting chunk plays, but they've been consistent, no drops and things like that.
Well, I mean, it's important to play your best football, and it comes in a couple of different forms, right? Don't get overly greedy, right? And certainly don't be too conservative. You know, we have a lot of confidence in what we do on both sides of the ball. We're going to game plan to the best of our abilities and practice that. And on game day, make sure that that's what we do, right? So in terms of big plays, if you run your plays, if you do your job to the best of your ability, routine plays can turn into big plays. If you start playing out of scheme and trying to go outside of the realm of your job and do someone else's job because you're letting anxiety or impatience set in, that's when bad things happen. And that's what we don't want to delve into, right? We want to make sure we stay on course and do our job.
I want to go back to the defense for a little bit. Motori's been a great find for the university, had a great game. And then also you've got Smith, who had a fumble recovery last week. Two older guys, but providing leadership and plays.
No doubt, no doubt. Big physical guys too.
Yeah.
It's, we're a lot bigger at linebacker than we've ever been before. Guys that are now in the 240 range that can run, can play the box with strength, with power, but can also go sideline to sideline and be really good in coverage. So, yeah, those guys, between the leadership, the amount of reps their eyes have seen over the years, they provide a ton, and certainly they're playing some really high-level football for us right now.
And behind them, Keontae Scott has been really good. Played almost every down in the Notre Dame game, and Poyser's been, I think, very solid for you as well.
No doubt. Those guys were great additions. Again, a lot of experience. They communicate really, really well. It always starts with communication. So when they're in the game, there's a lot of confidence that we're going to be in the right stuff.
Also, before I let you go, this 4:30 game, this must be a great recruiting game for you, right? Got a lot of big high school games on Thursday and Friday. Saturday afternoon, I imagine your sideline is going to be filled up pretty good.
Well, that, and just as importantly, the stadium itself being packed up. You know, our fans do such a incredible job for moments like this, and they're needed there, and I know they will be there, and they'll be bringing it strong. So looking forward to seeing everybody Saturday at Hard Rock.
Okay, Coach, thank you. The very best of luck.
Thank you. Go Canes.
That's University of Miami head coach Mario Cristobal. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week on the Mario Cristobal Show.